What's up, everybody? My name is Big Cam and welcome back to another movie review. And today we are talking about 2025's In the Lost Lands from the director Paul W.S. Anderson, who also did things like the Resident Evil movies, and from the book, I'm pretty sure it's called In the Lost Lands, from the author George R.R. Martin, who also did the Game of Thrones novels and still has been working on the last Game of Thrones novel for many years and probably will never finish. But this film, I was scrolling through the Twitters, the social medias the other day, and I saw a thread of werewolves, and somebody said that there was a werewolf in this movie. And I've been wanting to see this alone just because Dave Bautista, and I'm a big Dave Bautista guy, so I'm always curious to see like what he's been up to. And I thought this one for sure would have been out on streaming already, but it just hasn't. So I rented it last night. Finally, I was like, you know, we spent all this time waiting. Finally, I was just like, nah, I can't wait anymore. I'm down to see this. But just to talk about some of the other projects that Paul W.S. Anderson has done, he did Event Horizon, he did the Mortal Kombat original movie from 1995, he did the 2004 Alien vs. Predator movie, and then it seems like most of his other stuff has been the Resident Evil movies, which were starring Mila Jovovich, which is why she's the main star in this movie. It's gotta be, you know, he was like, I got Dave Bautista as my main guy, let me go get my girl that I've worked so many times with. So they must really like working together. But other than the two of them, the cast isn't so extensive, you know? Like, there's a couple other people, but not really. Like, it's really the two of them the whole time fighting off creatures and all these type of things. And she's, you know, a witch, and, you know, there's some mystery there, and there's like kind of a love story, and it kind of pays off by the end. But it almost felt like George R.R. Martin like was like, no, everyone, you know, the hero wins in the end. No, we have to kill him. And it was almost like he killed him, and then just at the end was like, you know what, screw it. Let's write a little twist into it so that he doesn't die, you know, like, and that they do live happily ever after, but you still kind of get both endings where you're like, nope, he's dead, but then he's back, you know, and the beginning of the movie ties into the end of the movie, and, yeah, I mean, I liked it. I didn't think it was the best. The whole time I was seeing Mila Jovovich's character, and she was good, and I liked her, but the whole time I was like, damn, if that was Rebecca Ferguson, I probably would have liked this movie so much more. And like, if it was Rebecca Ferguson, you know, yeah, I feel like it would have had a little bit more humor to it, but also she probably would have played up that relationship between the witch and Dave Bautista's character, and like really, you know, I think it would have been hotter, and like, you know, the tension between them, you know, by the end of it, you would have been like, they need to fuck. Where by the end of this, I don't even think they kiss, you know, like they kind of snuggle maybe, or hug or something, but they more or less just ride off into the sunset. We don't ever really get to see them do anything. And like, you know, Dave Bautista's character is like a bounty hunter, but he's also like this ladies' man, and like people, you know, he's hooking up one girl, another girl likes him, you know, he likes this girl, you know, like I felt like we could have seen a little bit more of that, but you know, it is what it is. But you know, spoilers for this movie if you don't want to know it. I just want to talk about it a little bit, but it is quite a spoiler topic, and if you're someone like me that loves a werewolf, they call him a transformer or transfigurer type of thing, but like, you know, more or less he turns into a werewolf type of thing. But it wasn't practical, right? Like they didn't use practical effects to do it like an American Werewolf in London or something like that. But it is more along the lines of like Van Helsing, where like all of a sudden you see like the human version of him, and all of a sudden he just gets turned into this like huge ferocious beast of a werewolf. But he has kind of more of like Dave Bautista's face in it. Like they tried to keep like Dave's muscle, you know, like they tried to keep his frame as much as possible, because like in the werewolf itself you can see like there's a couple shots you're like, oh, there's Dave's tattoo, so there is like Dave Bautista's underneath there, you know what I mean? And they also let him keep most of his tattoos, like the whole time. Every time he turned, you see the big crown tattoo on his neck, and I was like, damn, bro, like good for Dave, just doing his damn thing, being a star of his own movies, you know, like, granted this movie probably didn't make a whole lot of money and a lot of people haven't seen it. I'm sure the video won't perform that well on my channel here, but, you know, I'm not watching it for y'all, I'm watching it because I was interested. And if you watch this video and you like this movie as well, that's great. I want to talk more about movies that we're interested in together. But the werewolf portion at the end of this was good enough for me to be like, yeah, I enjoyed it. And, you know, I dig a decent love story, so I was kind of bought in for that the whole time. And, like, the witchy, you know, like, it was an interesting story, an interesting idea. I liked how, like, there was, like, a clear path, and they had 7 days to get to where they needed to go before the next full moon. And they had to go and just keep making their way to Skull River, and there was, like, this train track and different locations, and they kept getting stopped at them. And I'm sure the book, you know, they stop at each one of these locations, and each one of their 7 days on their way to the full moon, and then by the time they get there, now this big twist because, uh-oh, it's been him the whole time, which I honestly feel bad because I didn't see it coming, and I was like, I should have saw that one coming. And, like, once they did say it, I was like, oh, okay, yep, that makes sense, you know, but, like, I wasn't like, oh my god, really? You know, like, I was more like, I should have seen that one. You know, like, but overall, I gave this movie 3 out of 5 stars, about a 6 out of 10. If I had to give it a true 10 score, I thought it was somewhere around like a 6.7, 6.8, maybe even a 6.9, but not quite a 7, so I didn't give it the 3.5 out of 5 stars. So 3 out of 5 stars, but a 6 out of 10. Comment below your score or thoughts on this movie, and if you have any movie recommendations, drop those down in the comment section below. If there's any other 2025 movies that I've been missing, or you know, action werewolf movie like this, if there are any other werewolf films out there that I've missed that I haven't reviewed on the channel, drop those down in the comment section below. Let's talk some more werewolves, lycanthropes, right? I think. But yeah, not bad. Dave Bautista, I love you. But In the Lost Lands is now available to rent on Amazon Prime Video, is where I rented it, or wherever you rent movies. But my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for coming on by. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss future videos and you get the notifications. And if you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do that is liking this video, commenting down below, subscribing if you haven't already is a great way to promote the channel and get the channel out into the algorithm. I really appreciate you guys. If you'd like to follow my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. Once again, my name is Big Cam, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.